Hey everyone, welcome back to Asian Odyssey. So we're back with another round of mind-blowing Korean movies, and this is part 7 of the series. If you're new here and haven't seen the previous parts yet, all the links are down in the description. Now today's list got everything from crime thrillers and survival dramas to time loop mindbenders and political action films. Let's get straight into the countdown. Starting us off at number 10 is The Drug King, a 2018 crime drama directed by Woo Min-ho that captures the insane true-life rise of a legendary narcotics lord in 1970s Busan. The story follows Lee Do-sam, a small-time petty smuggler who barely makes ends meet by moving fake watches and gold. But his life takes a sharp turn when he realizes the massive potential in the drug trade. With a sharp mind for business and zero fear of the consequences, he builds an empire that spans from the streets of Busan all the way to Japan. This film is a massive production that really nails the atmosphere of 1970s Korea. It's less of a typical action movie and more of a character study on how absolute power and wealth can warp a person's reality. This film holds an IMDb rating of 6.2 and is currently available to stream on Netflix. At number 9, we have Coin Locker Girl, a 2015 crime noir masterpiece directed by Han Jun-hee. The story follows Il-young, who was abandoned in a subway coin locker as a newborn, and ends up raised by a woman called Mother, the cold-blooded boss of a loan sharking and organ trafficking ring. But everything changes when Il-young is sent to collect a debt from a kind-hearted young man. For the first time, she questions the only life she's ever known, but in Mother's world, hesitation is a death sentence. The dynamic between the two female leads here is what really makes the movie stick with you. There are no typical gangster tropes. Instead, the film focuses on this twisted maternal bond that eventually turns into a war of survival. It has a 6.7 rating on IMDb, and you can rent or buy it on Amazon Prime Video. For number 8, we have Insane, a 2016 mystery thriller directed by Lee Chul-ha, and one of those films that keeps its most important card hidden until the very last hand. On a busy street, Kang Soo-ah suddenly gets kidnapped in broad daylight and dragged into a private psychiatric hospital, where she is subjected to horrific violence and drug experimentation. A year later, a TV broadcaster finds a diary detailing every nightmare that Soo-ah endured. Intrigued by the story, he tracks her down to a prison, where she is now being held as a murder suspect, and tries to find out the truth. The strength of this movie is how it plays with your perception of the truth. The twist that lands in the final stretch reframes the entire story, and the way it is delivered is more effective than a more theatrical version would have been. Insane holds an IMDb rating of 6 and is available to stream on Amazon Prime Video and YouTube TV. Coming in at number 7 is Yaksha Ruthless Operations, a 2022 spy action blockbuster directed by Na Hyun. The story centers on Han Ji-hoon, an upright prosecutor who gets demoted and sent to Shenyang to inspect a secret black ops team led by a ruthless man nicknamed Yaksha, a man who operates entirely outside the rule of law and makes no apology for it. They quickly find themselves caught in a massive intelligence war involving spies from North Korea, Japan, and China. The action choreography is top tier, and the chemistry between the straight-laced prosecutor and the chaotic field agent provides a great anchor for the story. This film has an IMDb rating of 6.3 and is a Netflix original, so you can stream it there worldwide. At number 6, we have Tunnel from 2016, a survival drama directed by Kim Seong-hoon that turns a daily commute into a living nightmare. Lee Jung-soo is just a normal guy heading home for his daughter's birthday when the unthinkable happens. A poorly constructed tunnel collapses right on top of his car. He survives the initial crash, but he's buried under tons of concrete with only 2 bottles of water, his daughter's cake, and a phone with a dying battery. The emotional arc is handled beautifully here, making you really feel the weight of the mountain above a character who spends 90% of the movie trapped in a narrow place, while the world outside turns the rescue operation into a media circus. Tunnel has a 6.8 rating on IMDb and is available to stream on Viki, YouTube TV, and Amazon Prime. At number 5, we have Spirit Walker, a fantasy action film directed by Yoon Jae-kun that features one of the most unique body-swapping premises in years. A man wakes up at the scene of a car crash with no memory of who he is. But here's the twist. Every 12 hours, his soul is forced into a completely different body, and he has no idea why this is happening or who his original self is. The way they transition between the different actors while keeping the protagonist's essence visible feels like a very well-executed concept. It results in some of the most creative action sequences I've seen, because the hero has to constantly adapt to new surroundings and physical limitations every 12 hours. Spirit Walker has an IMDb rating of 6.3 and is available to stream on Viki and Amazon Prime Video. At number 4 is Be With You, a 2018 romantic fantasy directed by Lee Jang-hoon that is a remake of the famous Japanese novel and film. The story follows Woo Jin, whose wife Soo-ah passes away, leaving him alone with their son. Before she passed away, Soo-ah made an unbelievable promise to her husband that she would return 1 year later on a rainy day. Against all logic, when the first rains of the monsoon season arrive a year later, she actually reappears, but with absolutely no memory of her past.
We are reaching for the stars.
It's a very bittersweet, beautiful film that manages to be mind-blowing through its heart-wrenching plot twists rather than action. Even if you aren't usually into romances, you can give it a try for the unique fantasy plot and the emotional depth. Be With You has a high IMDb rating of 7.7 and is available on Amazon Prime. Number 3 on our list is A Day from 2017, a mystery thriller directed by Cho Sun-ho. The story follows Kim Jun-young, a famous surgeon who witnesses his daughter die in a tragic car accident right before his eyes. Suddenly, he wakes up on a plane, realizing he is back at the start of the same day. No matter what he does, no matter how fast he drives or how many people he warns, the day always ends with his daughter's death. But then he discovers he isn't the only one trapped. A man who lost his wife in the same accident is also repeating the day. This is a very tight, well-paced thriller. Unlike some time loop movies that get repetitive, this one keeps evolving by adding more layers to the mystery, and the thrill keeps building as they race against time. A Day holds an IMDb rating of 6.8 and is available on platforms like Amazon Prime Video. In the number 2 spot, we have the Steel Rain series, both the 2017 original and the 2020 sequel directed by Yang Woo-suk. The first film follows a North Korean elite agent who escapes to the south with the country's injured leader after a coup breaks out. He works with a South Korean government official to prevent a full-scale nuclear war between the North, the South, and the United States. The second film, while not a direct sequel in terms of story, features the same lead actors in different roles. The first movie is more of a buddy cop action film at its core, while the second is a claustrophobic submarine thriller. Steel Rain has an IMDb rating of 7.1, and the sequel sits at 6.3. Both are available to stream on Netflix. At the number 1 spot, we have Memoir of a Murderer from 2017, a psychological thriller directed by Won Shin-yeon. Ba Young-soo is a retired serial killer who now suffers from Alzheimer's and lives a quiet life with his daughter. After a chance encounter with a mysterious man, Byung-soo's old killer instincts awake, telling him that this man is a murderer. He tries to report him, only to find out that the man is actually a local police officer. As his memory continues to fade, Byung-soo finds himself in a desperate battle of wits with a younger killer who is now targeting his daughter. Using an unreliable narrator with dementia creates an incredible sense of dread and confusion. You're never quite sure what is real and what is a hallucination or a false memory. Memoir of a Murderer holds a strong IMDb rating of 7.2 and can be streamed on Tubi and Amazon Prime. That's it for our Part 7. If you liked the video, don't forget to tell us your thoughts in the comments and we will make sure to bring you more gems next time.